Hey, what's going on everybody? It's Joseph from ScreenBite, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about lighting. There's been a pretty recent boom in consumer to prosumer lighting, which comes in from anywhere from budget cost all the way up to, I would say, mid-tier. Panels are getting bigger, getting more diffused, getting softer, getting easier to access. And none is more apparent than a more recent trend that I've been seeing, and that is in tiny little LED panels that are bi-dimmable, pretty darn powerful, and offer additional features on top of it, like special effects, as well as color temperature changes, and even full RGB spectrum lighting. And I wanted to talk about one of those lights in our video today, and that is from a company called Pixel. It's the IVISII G2. And this was a light that was sent out from Amanda from Pixel, but all opinions are my own, as well as I'm not being compensated for this video in any way, shape, or form, and Pixel is not going to get a copy of this review before it goes live. So, let's get started. So as I like to start everything, let's first start with the physical overview of the light. So this is a full aluminum design, and I have already dropped the light on accident twice, and I haven't run into any issues with functions or anything breaking or anything like that. So build quality wise, I'd say pretty awesome. Now my absolute favorite thing, well, two favorite things about this light is actually the way the navigation works for the menus, as well as this really awesome stand. So for navigation, you're gonna get two switches, I would say, as well as like an on and off switch. It's like a switch wheel for the other two that can click in, as well as they're on like a spring. What I really like about these is like the menu system is really thought out and really easy to navigate. So there's no need to download like a third-party app or an app or figure out how to rummage through menus to get things started. It's just simple tap and flick and you're getting in the menu that you need to be in. And I love that. Next thing, of course, has to be this crazy stand. So what I love about this thing is it's machined really well. It can be mounted onto a hot shoe, as well as it is able to articulate in so many different ways, which makes using this light a lot more versatile. In the box, you do also get a pretty awesome tripod as well, but I'm currently having it sit on my GorillaPod just so I can have it a little bit higher up. But yeah, that's enough for the physical overview. Let's go ahead and see how this light performs. So let's first start with output, because obviously output is very important. And this is where this little light actually surprised me. It has a lot more power than I would think for such a small light. So I have it daylight balanced to 5600 Kelvin, and here is what it looks like as we go up through the intensity. 0%. We are looking at -3 stops. This is around 20%. We are at -2 stops. 40%. We are at about half a stop underexposed. We are exposed right around 0%, right around 45%. And just so you can see the full output, fully all the way up, we're looking at about 1 stop over on our exposure. Currently it's at 5600 Kelvin. However, this light is bi-dimmable. So let's go ahead and see what the range is. So at the very bottom, we have 2600 Kelvin. At the very top, we have 10,000 Kelvin. Of course, this light isn't just bi-dimmable, it's also an RGB light, which who doesn't love some good old-fashioned RGB? 276 degrees on the light is pretty much my favorite color ever. But let's go ahead and see what it has to offer. So you have the full RGB spectrum by just adjusting the degree here. And then you can adjust the saturation of the color right here. This light does also have some built-in special effects. This is called TV screen. This is Lightning 2. lightning 1, RGB fast, RGB slow, fire truck, ambulance, police, and back to TV screen. Now with features out of the way, let's go ahead and talk some lighting scenarios. Now for each of these lighting scenarios, I'm going to be looking at as if you were using this light as your primary key light. So it's 3 different ways to achieve different looks. And before we go in, I'll bring up the first one now. But before we start, I do want to talk about one of the drawbacks of this light. And it is something that seems to plague cheaper LED panels, and that is that there is a slight magenta shift in the lighting. So you're gonna need to address that in post if you wanna get the most color accurate image out of this. Now, talking about the light itself and the look that we're looking at here, this is with the light directly on top of my camera in the cold shoe. And as you can see, I'm not really a fan. This is a very flat look, and it's not something that I normally go for. There's no dynamic shadows on my face. I'm kind of flat and just against the background. I'm just not a fan, but this option does exist if you like to shoot this way. Now to change things up a little bit, we're gonna take the camera off the top and put it at a 45-degree angle to the, well, my left, your right. And this instantly changes the look here for me. As you can see, things look a lot more dynamic, a lot more interesting. There's shadows on my face, and I'm separated from the background more. The only issue here is that since this is a smaller light with a smaller light source, it is going to be a little bit more harsh. So to fix that, we have to diffuse. Now, you can do this with pretty much anything, shower curtains, white sheets, whatever, anything that you can put in front of the light to kind of make the light source bigger. What I did was grabbed my old piece of diffusion that I bought forever ago. It's a circular diffuser. I went ahead and I placed it on a stand about 1 to 2 feet in front of the light to get it bigger and soften it up. And as you can see, this looks way better. And I'm honestly shocked at this light because it has enough output to really be used as a key light in my normal setup, which is pretty cool. And now, if I didn't have my Aperture 120D, maybe I might look into using this. But what I've been mostly using it for is to kind of accent things. So like the light will be on the floor shooting up at like my nerd shelf over here to make it separate from the background a little bit, or I'll use it as an accent light for B-roll to change colors of things, that kind of stuff. So all in all, very versatile light. And before we close out, let's go ahead and talk about battery life and pricing. So battery life. I got this light about 2 weeks ago, and I've been using it off and on at different intensities, and I've had to recharge it twice, which is not bad. Now keep in mind that is with off and on usage, and I usually use less intense modes. I would say that if you were gonna use this at like 50 to 80%, you're probably gonna be looking at anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours of charge time, which isn't that bad because it does charge via USB-C relatively quickly. I charged it, I think, for like 20 minutes, and I got like an additional 45 minutes of charge time out of it. So that's pretty nice. Now, pricing wise, you can pick this up on Amazon for, I believe, either $60 or $70. And that's a pretty decent price for what you're getting here. Now, it does sort of put it up into the range with like more expensive lights like the Aperture MC at like 90 to 100, depending on where you're purchasing that from. And the Aperture MC is a much more accurate light, as well as it has additional features like the magnets and the wireless charging, and the app, which if you like apps, that's pretty awesome. But at the same time, if you don't need all those extra features and you don't mind fixing that magenta shift in post, because it's not going to impede on your workflow too much, I'd say for $60 to $70, this is not a bad light. It's crazy powerful, really easy to navigate, has tons of features, and is versatile enough to use in a multitude of different ways. I'll leave a link in the description, an affiliate link if you want to purchase it. It does go to help the channel if you purchase it that way without any extra cost to you. But yeah, that's going to go ahead and do it for this video, guys. So thank you once again for watching. As always, if you liked it, make sure to show it by hitting that like button down below. It really helps us out. as well as if you have any questions about what we talked about today, feel free to ask that in the comment section down below or hit me up on any of my social medias. Also, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, feel free to subscribe. But until next time, I will see you all in the next video. Bye.
I can't reach the camera.